Ready? Three, two, one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the OG and Divine Brothers podcast. Chase, savoring a beer there in Hilo, Hawaii, and myself staying warm and icy cold. Let's see. -11, Beijing. Trying to stay warm and really regretting my life choices as I as I sit here in the middle of it and realize Chase was right. Cold isn't worth it. Don't associate with it. Get as far away as possible. And
It
yes,
always
I'm
it always hears
feeling
that
that.
Chase is right, but I'm going in the cold myself. I'm going to a place that is has cold weather. So,
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's going to be an adjustment. Chase is on his way off to New Mexico, and that's an interesting place. I was just watching a couple weeks ago. We watched that Pluribus show. You heard of that? The Pluribus
no,
show.
no,
Everybody says it's amazing, it's amazing. Meanwhile, I think it's shit. We didn't even finish it. It was so shit.
never heard of it.
Um, all of it takes place in Albuquerque, New Mexico, just like Breaking Bad. And it's one of those places. It's like this is like Lubbock with mountains. It
Mm.
feels dry, dirty, dying, and just. But there are good parts of New Mexico, amazing parts of New Mexico. You just got to go out and find them. It'll be an interesting experiment, man. I'm curious how it's going to change you.
Yeah, New Mexico is a very forgettable place. It's just
Yeah.
if you were listing all 50 states, I would not be surprised if the majority of people never named New Mexico. Yeah.
Chinese people don't know it. That's for sure. You're from
I
Texas. Yeah, yeah. New Mexico. Oh, is that a part of Mexico? Yeah, yeah.
I was mailing my background check from Colombia, and I got like it was the biggest thing with the guy behind the desk with the broken English. He's like, "We cannot send to Mexico." I'm like, "It's not fucking Mexico. It's America." He goes, "No, this is you say." I'm like, "It's fucking America. It's called New Mexico." He's like, "What?" Okay. I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "I promise, it's a real place." Yeah.
Dude, it is one of the weird. So I know a little bit about New Mexico because I read a history book about it and stuff. New Mexico was different than all the other places that the Americans took from Mexico because all of the rich Mexicans live there.
It's the
You
capital,
know,
right? It was the old capital of Mexico,
for the
maybe.
north,
Yeah, the
for the
north.
northern, but like Santa Fe was major place. And so like they had serious like ranch money and stuff, but they were like dark skinned people. You know what I mean? So there was this weird thing where um, Mexican Americans like they kind of like to play up the black angle, like, oh, we're like, but no, in the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, when America gets all the shit, Mexicans were totally equal to whites, totally equal because they had so much money
Mm,
out of those New Mexican people, man. Like huge ranches that stretched on, like the size of the Big Island. You know what I mean? That
really?
kind of ranch. Just went,
Wow.
oh yeah, huge money. So it was interesting stuff, man. Interesting stuff. I think you're gonna have some adventures. I'll put it to you that way. I've never hung out with a native person. You ever had a Native American friend? Yeah, me either. That could be
No.
interesting. Could be bad. We'll see. You know, I can see the introduction now. Like, oh yes, my name is Walks with Fire. My name is Chief Chase.
Yeah.
It's making the introduction.
Yeah, we'll see how it
Could be
goes.
good.
My buddy grew up on a reservation out here on in Montana. I said, "Well, what can you tell me about him?" He goes, "All the women, they have flat asses." I was like, "What? That's it. That's
Ooh,
all you tell me. That's
wow,
horrible."
that's the one thing he remembers, man.
I was like, "That's horrible, man." He's like, "Yeah, it was pretty awful." Yeah.
It is interesting. There are certain things that like will kill attraction to you. I've met men where they're just gorgeous, beautiful face, good body and stuff like that, but they have that concave ass.
Hank
You know
Hill
what I'm like?
ass.
No,
Yeah.
destroys any attraction. It's gone. God, nothing will redeem you because I'm so turned off by the concave ass. So it's just I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's essential to somebody's attraction.
Well,
I don't know
dude,
why.
if you're gay, man, that's where you're making your home. I mean, you got to have something back there, right? That's what you're looking at
I
besides the
think
face,
men too.
right?
I mean, could you handle no ass? Could you
On a
handle that?
woman? No, absolutely not. I like
Yeah,
legs, but legs build to a butt. So
like an ass that looks like a CD case, as
mm.
Patrice O'Neill used to say. Like that.
we were
Like I
this is back when I was in Alabama. I had a semester there. I was hanging out with our buddy Chris Elrod's friend. His name was Sean, and this guy was a drinker and before he went in the military, he's drinking and he's going after every chick, and he was hitting on this chick at this restaurant. This chick was cute. And he's
yeah.
like, "Hey, what's up, girl?" Like she was like ordering, and he's just sitting there talking to her, blah blah blah. He ordered something, and she turned around to get like this, the milkshake, and there was no ass. And he turned around and looked at me with this look of like just disgust on us. And we walked away. He didn't even finish his milkshake. He just left. He's
That's
like, "I
so
can't talk to that. No
I
respect for
can't
someone like
talk to her anymore. Oh, she was probably all excited too, like, this is great, man.
that."
It's
He
horrible.
immediately walked away. Couldn't handle that.
It is amazing how one thing like that can just ruin. There was a mom used to talk about this. I never saw this movie, but she said there's some Eddie Murphy comedy where like he's really into feet, like he loves beautiful, clean feet and stuff like that. And he meets this super hot girl, and it's so perfect and all that. And they're in bed, and she's sleeping, and she apparently he's like, "Oh, I bet she's got a real nice pedicure and stuff like that." And he lifts up the covers and he screams out, "Hammer toes!" Ah! And he fucking runs away because he's so horrified by the awful feet and stuff. Mom thought that was the funniest shit ever. And it makes me appreciate how petty she can be sometimes, man. Like it's truly like it's a true bully humor and stuff. You know, did I tell you about when I told Wu Yin about how she laughed at her cousin, who she
Yeah,
called Beastula?
yeah,
And
yeah.
he was horrified. He was like, she is so cruel. She is so cruel. That was the hardest I've heard her laugh in years, years and years.
We like to make fun of our father for being a bully, but our mother's maybe even a
Oh
bigger
yeah.
one. Yeah, absolutely. We're a product of bullies. Yeah.
I guess we are. Wow. I do have cruelness in me that I'm trying to catch, but it comes out I feel, this is something I see a lot of myself lately. Um, I feel flashes of anger that they don't go anywhere, but flashes of anger at people that like just they're there for a second in my mind. And I know that I could easily just ride the wave of anger. Just somebody does some little thing that you just feel a flash of anger for. And I know I could ride this if I wanted to, but I just let it go.
Yeah,
You know,
man. I
always
yeah.
there.
You know where I get when I get the flash, like it just goes full blown like movie of like destroying every ounce of their life, like but keep not killing them,
It's
but just
rage.
yes,
Yeah.
Monte Cristo type shit, like just slow destruction and just dedicated to destroying them for the like I
Oh
it's
my God, is that what our DNA is,
it's a
Chase? Is that
fantasy.
who we are? Oh, thank God we have something keeping it down, the demon inside of us, dude.
It is
Like,
there. There is a demon for that. Yeah, it's oh well. At least we acknowledge it. Most people pretend that they don't have it. I think a lot of people have it.
it's definitely there. It really is anger. Like it's this the shaking in the fist. You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of amazed by it because it just kind of appears. Little things, little tiny things can make it appear. And again, don't act on it, but it's there, always there.
Maybe that's where we differ. For mine, it builds, and it doesn't come from tiny
uh,
things. It is like, all right, you've crossed the threshold that hardly anybody crosses, and therefore, this mine, I'm going to let it run free. It's just like it.
see, I don't see you acting on the. I rarely see you act on anger.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like I never see like I see like you get angry, but I never see you act it out. You know, like Chase was describing something that happened earlier this week. But if that was happening to me, I think I would have lost my cool. You know, I think I would have my words would have I would have added venom to my words, and I would have struck. You know,
Well, what do you
like
see? I wonder with if we had freedom, no financial
mm,
obligations, nothing like that, because
or
that's
respect. You know?
right. But more respect and just freedom financially, I think it would just come out however it needed to come out, but it's not there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I guess so. Maybe that's a good thing because then the rage would be like perhaps cataclysmic, you know, like destroying everything in its path,
Well,
but
you read those like that 48 Laws of Power. It's such a fun little
yeah.
roller coaster, essentially. But every one of them, they can control it when they need to. Because at every point, they're insulted, they're demeaned, they kill their family and they plot for 30 years. I'm like, how do these people fucking do that? Like it's really incredible that they can do that for that long to get the ultimate revenge. I guess I try to keep that in mind. I'm not saying I'm one of those people, but I don't want to be the person that explodes. Yeah.
See, I think that was see the other thing that's interesting is I think Chase is fundamentally. This is going to sound weird, but I think you're fundamentally optimistic. What I mean by that is you always have the hope.
Mm.
There's always the hope never has died. You know what I mean? And I think a hopeful person is more prone to anger and frustration because you're like, when somebody fucks, you're like, I'm doing the right thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and you are fucking it up. You
Yeah.
know, your fucking negativity and nihilism is fucking up my hope. You know what I mean? Like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The reason I'm thinking about this is because I'm reading this really good Aztec book, and this historian, he does all this shit talking about the craziness of the like how they sacrifice thousands and thousands of people, and how they rip out hearts and eat their limbs, roasted in chili and all this stuff.
Sounds
And
good.
at the end of all this shit, it's good. I was thinking about maybe doing it, but the after all this shit, he says, so why did the Aztecs collapse? And he's like, was it disease? Was it, the Spanish? And here's why I think it collapsed. And this is his big theory. He's like, their religion was truly cataclysmic. And what that means is they believed the world had begun and ended 5 times. And before the Spanish came, they believed they were at the end. There was this fundamental belief that the world was going to end.
Well, they
And
were right.
everyone and they fundamentally believed that like death and life were the same fucking thing. And they welcomed death and they
They were
welcomed.
right again. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And so one of the things you see, like especially with the Indian civilizations, is like the Spanish so easily conquer them. Like it's shocking how easily and he says, I believe that there was an acquiescence that this is the apocalypse.
Yeah.
They all believe this is the end and we have to accept it. And so they didn't have the rage, they didn't have the hope, they didn't have the anger. You know what I mean? It's an interesting theory, man. So I'm thinking you're the opposite because you have the hope, the anger can be there. But when you totally give up and you think the world is ending and it's the apocalypse, you just surrender, you
Well,
know?
if I am an optimist, it's like at 52% to the positive. It's a very small lean and it's evidence-based, but there's enough to keep it going. But I am totally prone to losing all hope. That could happen. I'm very aware of that. But if someone comes in and fucks up the trajectory that has no business
Yeah.
being there, yeah, that needs to be handled. Yes.
It's funny you say that because I don't think I've ever seen you 100% lose hope. I have 100% lost hope before. I've never seen you in the same place I was in. I've seen you down, definitely, and stuff like that, but never it's over.
Well,
You know what I
I
mean?
don't think I have. I'm saying that is a possibility. Like that
Oh, okay. So,
reality does not, that is feasible. That is real. Yeah, that's palpable. I
okay.
can taste that. Yeah. Haven't
Okay.
reached it.
That's fair. Then that's very self aware, I guess. Nah, nah,
No, everything's
it
gonna
could
be
be the
great. I'm
ultimate
very
bad
aware, like,
ending.
nah, this can all go to hell very quickly. I'm
Yeah. See, like somebody like Bruce, I wonder. So, do you think he entertains that possibility of the ultimate failure?
I it's my biggest fear
Bruce,
for
by the
him.
way, a super, super optimist, right? Maybe the ultimate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's kind of this guy is.
I'd say it's my biggest fear because I think he's up in age and there's circumstances that might not
Mm,
yield a positive outcome and there's no way to avoid it. So what happens when
right.
I guess you accept it and you keel over, right? I mean it
Yeah.
could be an Aztec death for him. It could be just quick,
Mm,
maybe.
yeah.
But maybe that's the best
See,
way for him. I don't know.
I feel age like I'm so aware of how quickly time is slipping by. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck, it's still the same. Fuck, I don't know how to change things. Fuck, there's no plan. There's no, and that gets to me. Versus say like the Japanese or the Aztec mode of death, which is just I'm just waiting to die. And therefore there's no value of life. You know what I mean? Oh no, no, excuse me. There's no anxiety about life. Meaning like when death comes, you make a poem. Or when death comes, it's the highest moment of your life. You know what I mean? And that's just so opposite to myself. It's just the incredible value of life is just slipping away all the time. And that's where I get my anxiety, you know.
Well, sure. Could you ever adopt a more Eastern mind? Living in the East, has it helped, or is it just, nah, man, it's just kind of how I'm
It
built?
has helped. Yeah, definitely. I'm way better than I was before. But it's like we were talking about earlier. I just crave respect and money so much. You know, just and I don't need to be a billionaire or even a millionaire. I just want to be like, ah, yeah. You know what? You know what I would love? I'd love for you know what I would love one day for Vic to call me up and ask for advice. You know, something that would never ever happen. Something like that. You know, that would never ever happen because there's no respect, and um, I have enough money to be content, but it would be nice to have enough money to have respect. You know, that would be nice.
Yeah, man, it's a combo, I guess, money and status for me. Like there needs to be something where I remember I just wanted to get my master's when I was younger. I
Right?
was like, I'll get a master's, be a master's level clinician. I remember at this horrible fucking clinic. I told this stupid client something and walked around the corner and talked to this idiot fucking doctor, Dr. Barry. And Dr. Barry said it,
Oh,
and
I
even
remember him.
he said it in
Big
such a
fat boy.
retarded way. And she was like,
Yeah.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you." And I was like, "Oh, I see how this works." I was like, "Well,
Yes.
you gotta," but even with the title, certain people will just, they don't give a fuck unless you get the
Yeah.
status job. Yeah.
I've made all my kids call me Master Conrad now. I was like, actually, you should call me Master Conrad because I have two masters, all right, and stuff. And you know what? It changed them a little. And oh, Master Conrad, could you help me with it? Master Conrad, will you help me with this? You know, I guess it's just how the world works, man. And you did it. You got it. They have to call you doctor now. MD or PhD, both. You do whatever you want, you know.
It doesn't do anything for me. But you nailed it. It's
But
the money and the title. You can fucking call me fucking Donald Duck. I don't fucking care, bro. If I got money and in the status, that's all you need. That's it, man. Yeah.
uh, Vic was Vic called me. Vic has been calling me a lot lately, which I'm annoyed by. But this he called me up and he's like, "Yeah, I was talking to somebody who you know, and they kept saying, Chase needs to do this, Chase needs to do this, Chase because they say this, they and Vic was like, the person you're talking about is a master's level, you know. Well, why do you think his advice is more important than Chase's advice and stuff like that? I didn't understand this. He's got a PhD, blah, 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 you know. And I was like, this is how it works. You know, everybody has their hierarchy of respect.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
everybody has who they're going to listen to and who they're not going to listen to, whose opinion they value and whose opinion they don't value. Sometimes the PhD matters. Sometimes it's just, I don't like you and I don't respect you. That's all that matters, you know? And
Sure.
this is how the world works, you know?
Yeah, and a lot of it's unconscious, so it's not like a personal vendetta I got against people. But like in our family, when we're talking about money and status, we crave that because it's been beat into our head. If you don't have that,
I know.
nobody's
I
going to
wish I could
respect
let
you.
go. I wish I didn't crave that.
I know.
I wish I didn't. You
I know.
know, but I fucking do. Like at a fundamental level,
And
it's
you
so
know what, Dean?
frustrating.
If me and you had money and status, we would be the worst. We would be like, "Hey, who the fuck is that? My dick's bigger than his. Look at me. It's just like we would be consumed by it for sure, as we should.
Hedonism exists
Yes.
so deeply. It's just crazy. You know, like it's funny. I've been for like the last 6 months, I've been dieting hardcore and stuff.
Ugh.
And just after Christmas, like it was just we just said, all right, we made it, fuck it. And just it's been just total hedonist garbage since then. You know what I mean? And just immediately all the weight came back. Just gone like that, all that sort of stuff. And I'm just like, fuck, it was that easy. It was that easy and stuff. And it just made me realize that, like, yes, if there was the option for, food and boys and, opulence, yes, I would be a little Nero. I would, I
And
would
it
just
would
be
be a
there.
great 3 to 5 year run. It would be great. And
Oh
then
man.
it would
Yeah.
be an
And then the
Aztec death.
Praetorian
Yes.
guard would come in, they'd kill him, there'd be an assassination and stuff. And I would say, damn, that was a good one.
It would
That was a good
it
one,
would be the same for me. My run would be like 7 to 8 years. It'd be a little longer than yours. Sustain a little bit
I think
longer.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Mine would probably be remembered more for the disaster of it,
You
but
would be
yours
talked
would.
about in the books for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, they would be like, and then he bankrupted the entire country by by
And
putting
Chase
on
came
peace
in and
control.
tried to pretend for a couple years he was the savior, and that definitely didn't work. And they killed him
He
off
was
too.
found strangled in an orgy, his belly hanging over
Hung
some
himself
slave
in a
boy,
closet like David Carradine or whatever his name was. Yeah,
Yeah,
jerking
yeah,
off
that.
in
Oh, I
Bangkok.
forgot about that, man.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
Bangkok
I,
in a cheap hotel, hanging by my belt, jerking off, and just
that is how he will be remembered forever for that moment right
he.
there.
How old was he? He was like 80, wasn't he? Wasn't he fucking old?
It was, I mean, Kill Bill time, right?
That's
That's when he died, like almost immediately after Kill Bill 2,
dude, you're
right? So
fucking
that was
jerking
over.
off like that in your 80s. It's like, good God, man, what's up?
What else do you got? What
I
else?
guess
You know, this brings up an interesting question. Like, do you think you understand how to make respect? Right?
make.
Like, yeah, like let's say you're a nobody, right? I know, hard to imagine, but let's. Do you think you know how to make a reputation without money, without status? Like, let's say you don't have a PhD.
Yeah,
Let's say you don't have money. Is there any way you can make a reputation?
make a reputation.
Yeah, like get respect, and you don't have a, you don't have the status, you don't have the money.
I think you can feed off others' reputation. I mean, you can be a leech of sorts, right? I mean, if you surround yourself with someone that's got a decent
Parasite.
reputation, yeah, but
Yeah,
that's tactical, right? You around good
that's
reputation,
hard
maybe
though. You got to find somebody with a reputation.
it's easier to find the fucking horrible ones with the reputations. Yeah, yeah. So you could feed off that and maybe build some type of baseline or foundation, but to
I
create, what
think
did
you
you
got
say?
to have a talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you got to have like something you can show off for the world, or they'll start going, yeah,
Oh, unwavering
like
confidence in something. Yeah,
confidence, man. Confidence is a motherfucker.
confident.
You know,
Sure.
I
Sure.
I really do think that confidence is maybe the most what's the word? Uh People, it's like a universal sense. A really confident person is radiating an energy that the whole world can feel, you know?
Hmm.
And I think that that automatically builds a kind of reputation. Like people, you walk into a room and people tune into the vibe, and there's a little respect that comes if the confidence is really there.
Well, what do you think of the fake it till you make it thing?
I think it's legit. I think
Okay.
it's very legit. Because that comes from Laredo and Dakota Gin of the Muddy Rudder Oyster Bar in Caroline Beach. I was like, wow, these guys made it big. They went to Harvard, and then, meanwhile, years later, that restaurant closed down. And he was bartending. And so maybe I don't believe in fake it till you make it. But
That
I think that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that is the guy that did everything right and still failed. Like got his
Yeah,
football scholarship to Harvard, you
yeah.
know, gets out, has got the degrees, got some connections, and just the business goes under. Now he's working at some bar in fucking redneck villa. Yeah.
But you know what? Talk about little Nero, man. He had a penthouse with his best buddies
Yeah.
in fucking Caroline Beach. He was partying every night. I remember, man. He would go up to the penthouse, and there was always girls. Like it was, he was living. He was fucking living there for a while. Yeah, it all went to hell, but those must have been a good few years, dude.
I
You
keep
know.
telling myself I'm playing the long game, and I think maybe it could play out that way. But that's the goal is the penthouse with whores and gigolos and all that stuff, man. That's the goal.
So
That's the goal.
I'll share a little bit of my. And I probably shouldn't. You think it's bad to share fortunes? Is that maybe bad luck? I don't know.
Fortune? What did the fortune cookie tell you?
It was like a fortune cookie because it was Chinese and stuff. But I've done multiple
Oh,
Buddha.
fortune
The Buddhist
tellers.
shake.
Oh
The
no,
Buddhist shake thing.
no.
So in Buddhism, they have like these. big jars of bamboo sticks and you shake them. There's like 1,000 sticks in there, and whatever stick you get tells you the fortune. And I've done the I Ching, which is the book. I've done the book many times. Every time I've done it, I've gotten the same fortune. you know, and
Really?
what I mean by that is, yeah, and what I mean by that is they all mention this one thing. Like they'll say different things at the beginning, but in the end, oh yeah, and I had a star reader, like a super expensive star reader that a rich student got for me, like a Chinese star reader, and they all said the same thing at the end, which was success late in life. You know, and I mean that could just be that's a nice thing to say. Yeah, you know what I mean. Success late in life. I can hold on to that, but there is part of me that says yes, that's the truth. Yes, like later on, it's gonna come. It's gonna come. But and stuff. And that's why I was telling you earlier. I feel the age and stuff like. Well, I mean, it's 35. It's pretty late. I mean, like, how much more late are we talking about? And stuff like that. And I hate to say it, but that fucking I Ching, man, I buy into it. I'm not even gonna say like relative, like, oh, maybe it's true. But no, I buy into it because I've been fucking with it too much and it's been too real,
Mm.
you know. And
But
so
that's got to be
I've
comforting.
got hope in that.
Oh,
I
is
have hope in that.
I think that's comforting, brother. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I
it's like I was saying with you earlier. You've always maintained the hope, and I think I can hold on to that for my hope.
fair. Well, that's hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, said Andy Dufresne. Yeah.
Yeah, I think also that like seeing your life too, because there have been many times when I've watched Chase where I've said he should give up.
I've
I
been
have
told to
said,
give up too by people
oh
that
my
have birthed
God.
me. Yeah.
Yes, your parents telling you every fucking day, give up, just stop it, just go back, and stuff
Unwavering
like that.
support to quit.
Unwavering. Oh my God. Unwavering. What's the opposite of support? Unwavering
Support to
criticism.
quit. Unwavering support to quit. Just quit. You made the mistake.
Just a
This was wrong.
barrage. Barrage.
Start
I
over.
just imagine like Chase like on a rope and they're just throwing like snowball at you, just like just fucking let go,
Please
god damn.
stop. Stop. I'm your blood. No.
But yeah, but anyways, the point is that you hung on for some reason, and I think that is the correct attitude to have.
What
I
you
don't want to have
talking?
the Aztec mentality of the world is going to end.
What is it called? The Tao Te Ching? What is this called? What do
Oh,
you?
the Tao Te Ching, the book of numbers, all the lines and shit.
I definitely believe like the signals and like you take what's there and you can learn. Like I have this buddy Milton out here, and I remember I met him at the
Oh, sure.
hospital, and he was a chief financial officer. And I go in and talk to him, and it was always, yeah, man, this is 3 to 5 years here, and next stop is CEO, and it'll probably be a smaller one before I move up to the main one, and then I want to be the most influential medical dude in this. I'm like, uh-huh,
Damn.
sure you do, buddy. And
Well,
but it's so laid out and long game, and he said that from day one. And last time I talked, he's exactly where the trajectory needs to be, but he
yeah.
believes it, and he sees it, and he's always
Mm,
said that. And he shared that. He goes, you're right there where you need to be too with the long game. I never think that way. I'm like, am I? And I started, it's
yeah.
like, as long as you start making moves, you're fine. I'm like, actually, he's kind of right. He is.
Making moves.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the hard part, making moves, because you're like, well, what are the moves, Right? Like I think that that's something I remember one time me and Chase did we were tripping in Malibu and stuff like that. It was a little bit of a rough time and stuff. And I
Malibu.
remember the moment. I'm sorry, Maui.
Okay.
But I remember immediately after that, Chase started like, yeah, I got to get a new job. And you started like applying for shit. And that's when you moved to the Big Island,
Yeah.
you know, AKA he was making moves,
Well,
like
there
just
was
something in you was like, it's
Well,
time.
it was a pandemic. Nobody could come to that state. And there were
Mm,
opportunities because the talent pool was so small
right.
and they
Yeah.
were
It
desperate. And
was the
I got a
perfect
good
time.
job. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Timed
Yes.
it
Yeah.
well.
That it is interesting. Like, so I, I'm so torn on what to do. Chase. All right. I'm going to take over things a little bit. So forgive me for this. Forgive me, but tell me what you think. remember that I Ching, right? Like it gave me two readings over the year, and I just stopped after that because I was so taken by the readings. The first one was called Wu Wong, which basically is nothing from something or something from nothing, right? So it's the idea that actually all like you ask it a question, and I was like, okay, so what do I need to do to fix my life,
Mm-hmm.
And it was like nothing. Like you ever see that SpongeBob episode where he asks the shell, he's like, "What do we need to do?" Nothing, and he just sits down and does nothing, and it all saves it and stuff like that. And so its advice was like, when you master the nothingness, the emptiness of life, something comes out of it.
Oh,
So it's the
sure.
exact opposite of making moves. You know what I mean? Later on, at the beginning of 2026, I did another reading and I just asked, like, so what should my theme be for 2026? What should I do? And I got this word quay. And quay is kind of like it's an interesting word. It means like polarizing, polarized lens. But what it basically means is it emphasized the little things. Do little things. Don't think big. Don't think big dreams. Don't think big plans. Just focus on these little tiny things that you do every day. And once you know these little tiny things, then the big plan comes. So all of this stuff is exactly the opposite of what I was hoping for. You know what I mean? So when somebody tells me, like, what am I supposed to do with my life? Nothing. I'm thinking moves. There's got to be big moves. There's got to be big plans. Okay, how do I need to spend my time? Do the little things, you know, the little tiny things that don't really mean anything to you. What about the moves? What about the doing things? Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And I hate to say it, but because they were so opposite of what I thought I would needed, now I believe them more than anything. Do you know what I mean? I feel like maybe these two little words were actually meant to. That's exactly what I need. And I sometimes I think, hey, you're just fucking with yourself. This is just playing with stupid magic and stuff like that. But I've reached the point in my life where I don't want to ask questions anymore. I don't want to say like, well, it could be this, it could be this. And I just want to, I'm just saying, I believe it. And I'm just saying, I believe it. And that's it. No more
Oh,
questioning. Just saying, I believe it. You know what I mean?
found
Like it's
something to
not worth
believe in. Yeah, man.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
like that strategy for you though, because the biggest thing with you, if you took a big move, is not the beginning. It's the follow through and the sustainability of it. You know what I
yeah. The
mean?
beginning's easy. Yeah,
Yeah,
I can jump. It's just swimming afterwards.
exactly. Yeah, so
Yeah.
the subtle stuff is something that doesn't that to sustain that very light effort. That's the Dean way. Light effort is
Mm,
that is very Dean. So
mm.
yeah, and it teaches patience too. So maybe that is kind of accurate, man. It's really fucking accurate.
Yeah, I'm sticking to it. I am.
Yeah. I hmm. That's good, man. That's good, solid advice. I've always sometimes my mom, oh, do you think he's ever coming back? Like, no. I just the
Mm,
culture suits him better over there. Everything about it. And again, you respect it over there too. It's a big factor.
kind of. I don't know, not really. But here's the
Culturally,
idea.
culturally, you respect it, right?
Yeah, there is always, like I was saying earlier, that desire for status and money.
Mm.
You know, the desire for mom and dad not to respect a little, just a little bit. That would be nice. Um, and
Go earn
and
it,
so
son. Go earn
that's
it. Yeah.
yeah, that's in again. I think the defining conversation I had with my father is, I think I asked him like, "Do you respect me?" And he was just like, "If you do something I respect, I'll let you know." That was the defining. I was like, "Oh well, at least I know how it is." You know what I mean? But anyways, all of this is to say that I really want change right now. I'm just getting sick of this teaching thing. I'm ready to leave Beijing. Wu Yin's ready to leave too, but I'm here and I'm stuck here. And this time when I want change, the advice I've been given is nothing and little things. So there is that conflict there. I want to be making moves, man, some chase moves. You know what I'm saying? But it's very obvious that there are no clear moves for me other than to go get more education,
I,
you know.
let me ask you
So
this. What is the I've found this when I talk to people that the patterns of their life, there's a pattern to everyone's life, and the approach is always different. Like for me,
okay.
if I'm going in a direction and it all goes to hell, it's like, okay, I'm not going to put any more effort in this direction. And I've seen people
Mm.
have things really fuck up and they push through it and they make it work. So, what has been the pattern you've noticed as far as your evolution as a professional and a person, I guess?
Yeah, it's like a acquiescence to mediocrity. So everything is just good enough.
Oh,
You know, there's enough money, there's enough comfort, there's like everything is there. There's not this. I'm so aware of how bad the world is around me because I look at the news. You know what I mean? And there's this constant feeling of like this is very good, and it could be so much worse. You know what I mean?
okay.
And hence, you just keep treading water. It's all right. I'm not out of energy. This is a very acceptable place. And I probably here now in my life, I've never been happier than I am right now. Therefore, why change it? You know what I mean? And yet, there's still the feeling in the gut that's just telling me this is not correct. You can't stay here forever. You know what I mean? So it's the prison of mediocrity, you know, the prison of it's okay, it's acceptable.
Shut your mouth, you mediocre history teacher.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Said SpongeBob being controlled by plankton.
Yeah. I I do think that because of that, I could so easily see myself staying here until I'm 60 years old and they say you can't stay any longer. You know, like it would be easy. It would be easy. And I see teachers who are doing that. Chase, I'm the teacher who's been here the second longest. you know, like that's how long I've stayed, you know.
Looks
So
good on a
there's no way.
resume.
Yeah, but I don't want to teach, you know.
What do you want to
And
do, man? You want to talk on a podcast? You think people will listen?
I don't know. I don't know,
I still
you know.
think it's the greatest podcast I've ever heard of in my life.
Oh, it's good, man.
I
It's
tell
good.
you,
I
when I
definitely
get
know
some money
talking is
coming
definitely
in,
part of it.
I'm gonna put fucking funds toward our third co-host who couldn't make it today, and I'm gonna buy him a computer
Yeah.
because he seems enthusiastic to do the bullshit we don't want to do.
If we really make money, we should just buy a producer and just be like, yeah, just make it
Well,
work. You know what I
that
mean?
is
Yeah.
going to be a possibility, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's a
So
possibility.
this is the big thing coming up for me is well, I'll be interested to see these paychecks because I've never had substantial cash, and I think I might have
Mm,
substantial cash. And it's not, to me, it's not about, it is. It's about, feels good to have cash in the bank account, but it's like, all right, man, how do I get out of this? Because I think the same as you is
right.
the sooner I can get out of therapy forever, happy Chase can exist. Like that
Right.
hope is still there, and it just allows me a little more freedom to make some moves in those directions. What those moves are, I'm not sure yet, but I will fucking figure it out and make them. Yeah.
It it's see one of the odd thing, like I know this is so silly, but that Chase made an AI generated image of Chase, Chief Chase, as he had his Indian headdress on and was holding money and smiling
Rubbing his
benevolently.
fingers together. He
Like,
was happy.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's funny. He was so happy. And I loved because like he was kind of like going into his shoulders, like he's so happy he can barely keep his head on, you know what I mean? But see, this is the thing, right? Like so there's this idea of acceptance, like life is good enough, right? Just accept it. But I think the American in me, the maybe the Christian in me too,
Conrad.
always believes that there's something on the horizon. And I think the fundamental thing is that despite the contentment of now, there's that feeling of there's the city on the hill, baby. There's the El Dorado. It's out there, and that's so fundamental to my character. And I have to believe it's out there. That drives me, you know. And I want to believe that the happy chase, that image that I saw, that's the El Dorado that's out there. I want to see that real moment happen in life, and that's why I didn't even want to be like I couldn't hate it. I was just like, damn, that's the thing we all want. We all want that to happen,
But if there is a correlation here, it's both of us. We want out of our professions. We want out.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about
Yes.
getting to the
Yes.
top. It's like
No.
Whatever can fucking get me out of this shit the quickest. That's what I'm doing. It's not that I hate it. We're good at it, but it's like it's just not sustainable, man. Because it leads
Yeah.
to a mediocre life. Like, oh, we did fine. We did comfortable and it was
Yes.
okay, and that's not a life I'm interested in living. No, thank you.
The guy who's been longer than me, uh, he's selling. He's got an overpriced apartment, a family that fucking treats him like shit, and
Nice.
he works very. He takes everything seriously. He's the strict teacher. He's always punishing kids and all that sort of stuff. I like him and stuff like that, but it just made me. It's so you run into people, you're like, oh, that could be your life. Like for example, Dr. Barry, right? The guy Chase brought up before,
He went to
big
jail for
fat
three
dude.
years. Yeah.
Went to jail for 3 years. Yes. By the way, I mean, he was such an ass kisser. Like everything Dr. Moran said, just whatever you think, Dr. Moran, like that sort of thing. Like, dude, I, it's just so clear the paths there are in life, and I have to believe that you see, I think the thing that our parents never realized is that they demonstrated the wrong path. Like we looked at their paths and we were like, I don't want to have this path, I don't want to end up like this. And that's so profound how much that impacts you, to see everybody else taking these different paths and just going, that's not the one, that's not the one, that's not the one, that's not the one. And the perhaps mad hope that there's a better path out there,
Yeah.
even if you haven't seen it.
Talking about childhood, it's like, well, I remember Uh, I just, I wouldn't say hate, but my parents did not like each other. Never were in agreement. Daily, just massive, just no, no. And I just like, oh, these people don't like each other. I remember that as a kid. I was just like, oh, they don't.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure why they live here. They're
It
nothing
was
alike.
interesting.
Good God.
I was trying to, the other day, I was trying to remember shit about being young. I have zero memories. Like at that age at Brooklyn, like from 0 to 6,
Yeah.
I don't remember any memories of mom or dad or any. I can see a vague layout of that house and I can see like Daddy Dean coming, my grandfather. I saw him coming a few times, and I don't remember a goddamn other thing. I don't
Yeah.
remember anything with mom. I don't. I remember a terrifying clown that came to my birthday. I remember that. I remember screaming like hell when the clown was there. These are the memories that I have. But I think like you remember the arguments and stuff. I think I just remember thinking, oh, this is just how the world works, and don't look at it.
Well, yeah, it
Don't
was
associate with
business. It was
it.
business. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, this is how people interact. But that's the thing, and that's the reaction
Yeah.
they got. Anything they ever told us was just like, nah, I've seen how that
Yeah.
turned out, and I'm gonna go the
Yeah.
opposite way. Thanks,
Okay.
though.
I'm
Appreciate that
telling you, why should I
advice.
listen to you? Sorry, your law degree doesn't mean anything to
I s-
me. I'm 5 years old. I don't care.
Wait, you get lawyers, pretty much going to court against each other every day. It's like, dude,
Oh yeah.
dude,
God, I never thought about it like that.
I
Yeah,
never
they're
want to
going to court.
say anything. I don't want to fucking argue with anybody. This is
Yeah.
catastrophic. Like, this is just awful. Yeah.
Yeah. I see one of the things that I guess I'm glad I'm in China. Like this is something that I just recently saw. Wu Yin got a little angry at me last week. He's like, I need you to stop saying sorry. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, why do Western people say I'm sorry for
It's
nothing?
fucking
In China,
horrible. I
no one
fucking hate it.
ever says I'm
They
sorry,
don't say
ever.
you're welcome or thank you. Yeah, it's great. I love
Yeah.
that about them.
And I was like, what do you mean by you're sorry and stuff? And I was like, I guess it's just a way, like, because he said something like, oh, this coffee's too high. I was like, sorry. And he's like, in China, you say sorry when you have done something wrong. You have hurt me in some unjustifiable way, and you demand that I give you some kind of recompense. And I was just like, but he's right. Like
He's
why we fucking say that
so
shit?
right. There's nothing that pisses me off more than people that abuse sorry or thank you all the time.
Yeah, and it's
Thank
ultimately
you.
disingenuous. It's totally
Well, it's
disingenuous.
unconscious. They're just saying it to
Yeah,
say it. It means absolutely nothing. They're
yeah.
fucking awful, man.
Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers.
The women in this country have been conditioned. It's just like, yeah, I had a tough day. Oh, I'm sorry. It's like, no,
Thank you for your empathy.
anything remotely negative is, I'm so sorry. I'm like, what are you,
Yeah.
no, you're not. Stop, please.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. So I asked him like, so if somebody complains in China, what do you say? He's like, uh, you say nothing or you say go do something about it. He's like, that's what you do in China. I was like,
I
I'm not talking about you, and he's like, no, that's how all Chinese people
I
behave.
like
You
that.
know?
It's like that bitch doesn't shut up. Huh? What are you gonna do about it? Well, I
Yes,
guess I'm gonna make her
yes.
shut up. You're like, yeah.
Because complaining in China is seen as like extremely rude.
Oh,
Like it's considered a real taboo sort of thing. You do it's like I've seen this before. Like I have never seen a Chinese teacher complain once. Never. Never. If they do, it will be quietly,
okay.
private room,
Must be a culture shock for him dating you because we're professional bitchers. I
Oh,
could teach a class on bitching, and how it'll make you
that's
feel
his
better.
number one.
Yeah.
And anytime like we'll be watching something and something horrible happens to a character and he's like, this is how it feels when you complain to me. Yeah. Like, we were watching an anime or whatever the other night, and first anime I've seen in years,
Which one?
and it's called Demon Slayer.
Oh,
You ever heard
yes.
of this? Demon Slayer?
Demon Hunter. Is that it? Is that it?
Oh no,
Is it?
Is it Demon Hunter?
I don't fucking know. There's demon something. Who knows?
It's a guy with a water sword and there's a like fire sword. I don't know. But anyways, this guy like this demon like has this horrifying way where he's got like he's being cut up into ribbons by like razor wire and stuff like that, and he like collapses in this pile of flesh, and stuff like that. He's like, this is how it feels when you complain to me. I was like, oh Jesus, babe, thanks. Okay, I'll try my best not to. So
My
that's
favorite
pretty
little
good.
girlfriend in Thailand, I'm not a bitcher as much as you, but I do bitch. It's in my DNA.
Thanks,
And when
Chase.
I did get angry, I remember at the telephone, they fucked up my bill. I was like, what do you fucking got?
Mm,
It's just a little bit. And
yeah.
she was this sweet little Thai. She got so frustrated. She goes, please just, it's okay. It'll be okay, please. And I was like, let's just let me bitch. Like, let me fucking tell them that they're a piece of shit. She's like, no, 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 no. I was like, what is this? This is not the way. It's like, yeah, I guess you're right. She was a good influence, but
Was she the one that said, give you the phone and said, Angry Birds for Angry Chase?
no, that's another. Oh,
Oh.
angry birds for angry men. And I was like, actually, that'd be interesting.
Damn, she was the one. I think you're going to have to go
She
back
was
in
the
time.
funniest. She was the funniest for sure. Yeah.
Funny. Damn, I got to say, a funny chick that is one in a billion, man.
They're not
You should
funny. They're
hold
not
on to that
funny
one,
people,
man.
man. And you know what the thing is? That this pisses me off about fucking women. They expect you to make them laugh. But there is no
Do
reciprocation
they?
of that. Yeah, yeah. They're like, oh, I want a funny guy. I'm like, but yeah, but you're not funny. Like, I know. I'm like, well, how does that work? That's not fucking fair. If I
Yeah.
got a funny fucking friend, I try my damnedest to be a fucking funny influence to him on a cat. I try. I try. I try to give it back. There's no trying. It's like, no, you need to be funny for my benefit. I'm like, wow, that's where we're at over here. It's a sad
I
day.
can't remember the last time I ran into a funny woman.
They don't exist. You,
I can't. I genuinely, I'm thinking, I
they'll
can't think
ins
of one.
they'll insult you. They'll laugh at you.
Oh, yeah, they'll fucking crucify your soul. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
never just one that just had me laughing hysterical. I wish, pray to the gods that they exist. I don't think they do.
That is really interesting. I'm genuinely. I mean, I've met some cool chicks, like girls I liked, but funny.
Dude, that was a conversation I had
Oh,
with the chick, and she was a Venezuelan in Colombia. She's like, "Oh, you're
okay.
funny." I was like, "Yeah, yeah." She's like, It's a big thing for me." I'm like, "Dude, me too." She's like, "I don't know if I'm that funny." I'm like, "Yeah, but you expect me to be funny?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like,
Mhm.
"But you won't give it back?" She said, "No, I need to be entertained." I was like, "This, I don't like this conversation."
I guess that's the. I guess that's the idea, man.
I didn't like
There.
it. I was like, "This is not a
I'm
good."
giving you my pussy, therefore you give me everything. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Dean, I think women, when the world went global and they can pretty
Yeah,
much find a man anywhere in the world, their expectations for life, they're just like, I don't really have to do anything. I can say whatever I want and do what I want, and this will be tolerated by some man in some way. Because all you have to be is a seven, and you can pull a lot of guys. A guy that's a
sure,
seven, you're not gonna get hardly anything, man. Yeah.
sure. Yeah, one of the things I've noticed is there's been a strange thing that's happened. I've noticed this. So the kids have gotten progressively a little worse and I think it's the AI thing. Like
They
they're just
hate
not as good as they used
stummer,
to
or what
be.
do you mean?
Lazier,
Oh, sure.
worse English, that sort of thing. And but anyways, one of the things I've noticed is that intelligence for girls has been proportional to looks. So basically, the hotter you are, the more stupid you tend to be, because they're just you can just see life is going very good for them. You know what I mean? And they know they don't have to try, as hard. And they've got their boyfriend, they've got their rich family, and all that. And you see like, oh, this isn't. And meanwhile, the mediocre girl is fucking working her ass off. Like the smartest girl I have in the 10th grade. But usually the girls are the smartest, but in the 10th grade. This girl, have you ever seen a girl who's just their face is just shockingly plain? You know what I mean? Almost like so a five that like there is no feeling to their face. It's almost like it's a mask that's stuck in like an even plane, no smile, no sad. It's just like somebody drew a face and put it on a girl. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I ran into one of those yesterday. Yeah.
Yes, that's her. And I like her a lot. She's a good girl, but you can just tell she does not exude anything sexual. Nothing about there. No one will be drawn. She has like a negative aura
Yep.
of attraction,
Yep.
and that's why she works on her school, man. That's why she does it.
Oh, she has to. Yeah,
She should try being funny, you know. That could be good for her,
there's a conversation yesterday with a very plain Jane woman from the Midwest. She was telling a
Yeah.
story, and I immediately watched people look at their phones, check their watch. Like there was no interest in what this woman had to say. Like eye contact broke immediately, and I was like, wow, that's
Yeah.
it. And she went a little too long, and she got cut off, and she didn't finish that story. And it's just
Mm.
like, yeah, man, if you're
Did she
playing,
accept the cutoff?
oh yeah, yeah, she
Okay,
tried.
she knew. She
She,
knew.
tr
Okay.
well, you wonder. You felt a little bad for her, and then you're like, well, you're kind of plain, so you know.
Tell you the difference between Chase and me. I will happily be the man who does the cutoff. I am happy to do it. I
Yeah.
will step up to the plate and say, thank you. Let's move on.
Valuable member of fucking society is what that is,
I
man.
see myself as a hero.
He should
Somebody
be.
has to step up and save the day, and I am one of the few who will do it. One of the few, and you know what? I hope somebody would do it for me too. I hope so. I remember one time it was the family reunion with the Conrads. Remember when we had everybody there and all that? And I remember Padre was the last. He made sure I'm the last one to speak, And everybody gave these short, quippy, like good little things. Went around the whole room. Everybody talked, and stuff like that. And he's the last one, and he just starts going. He's like, I prepared something, and he read it out, and it just kept going and going and going. It was awful. It was old man and meandering. And his sister stepped up, and he was not done. He was not done, and was just like, "Thank you, David," and like gave him the hand to sit down, and he was just like, and sat down immediately. And I was like, that woman is a hero. That woman saved us. He would have gone on for 34 minutes. It would have been nonstop, but she saved the day. And I remember thinking, I want to be like her. That's who you need to be,
Dean,
you know?
I have taken that core of you, and I have implemented it with people that need it in therapy. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna stop. I'm like, because you've told me this before, and you tell them the same story again, and I have a feeling you do this with a lot of people. It's like, yeah, you know why I do that? Because I'm checking to see if they're paying attention. I'm like, they're not.
Testing people. Yeah, I'm testing people.
I'm like,
Testing.
I go, they're not paying attention because you're not telling it correctly. You're rambling. I know, but I don't have
Yeah.
any friends. And I'm like, yeah, well, this is why. Like
This is why.
it has come out, Dean, because I can't take it anymore either. I'm like, it's a problem, man. Like you're boring my ass. Like, please stop telling the same stories over and over again.
Yeah. And be like, you're paying me to pay attention to you, and you are wasting that time. Good God.
You know what
You
else I
know?
told him? You know what else this fucker does? He goes, I don't know if I've told you this before. I'm like, you have.
You have.
I'm not too sure why you've told me this again. He's like, "Oh, just check to see if you're paying attention." I'm like, "But why would you do that? Why?" Oh, to see. I'm like, dude, if you're testing people and they're not paying attention, if
Yeah.
you're testing people if they're paying attention, they're obviously not paying attention. And they're not paying attention because you're fucking boring. That's the problem, man. You're rambling too fucking long.
Yeah. Yeah. And the fact that you care if people are paying attention proves that nobody's going to pay attention to you.
You're aware
Why
enough to
is
know
nobody
they're
paying
not paying
attention? I better
attention.
test them to make sure.
This is stupid. You already know they're not. Why are they not? Because you're fucking awful at telling story. That's why.
I want to see, this is something I've been thinking about lately. I would really like to refine my storytelling skills. You know, I think that I'm hit and miss. I think sometimes I do it good. Sometimes I need to be cut off,
Really?
and
Really?
yeah, well, I want to know. I think I have natural talent for speaking, but I haven't refined the art of telling a story. And that's a tough thing, man. A really good story. It's tough.
Well,
Tough to do.
you're a good orator. What you're talking about is timing. And that's
I mean, sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Tough,
That's
man. Like I was thinking about like for example, I was thinking online and stuff like that about there's a million history people online. But I was wondering about, well, could I tell a story in a way that was intriguing? Could you combine history with preaching, so to speak, where it's almost like,
God.
instead of getting into all the details of the history, it's more like, it crescendos like into a sort of a story that you can walk away with, like you walk away from a Sunday sermon and go, I got something out of that. Thank you, preacher, that sort of thing. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, I don't really know how to do that. I don't really know how to take something to that preacher level, that Southern Baptist minister level, with a story. That's challenging, man.
Well, that takes rehearsing. You could do it. You would need to rehearse.
Yeah, rehearse, chew on it for a while, see
Every
how it
time I heard
goes.
some of the best preachers like Mr. D's, and I think of some of my
Sure.
favorite Southern preachers, I remember hearing them speak, and I'm like, this isn't the first time they've done this. This is a mirror conversation. This is something they're doing in their bedroom in the evening, like, but they want to do it.
Yeah, they
It's
enjoy
not
it.
it's not because it's due on Sunday. Like this is just they've rehearsed, they've refined this. Yeah.
It's love. It's a passion. That's why I wish I could do. It's why I like teaching to some extent, because at least you have a little audience. They're just there. They're forced to be there.
Forced to.
It's an audience at
Yeah.
gunpoint,
Too bad you
you
couldn't take
know.
an
But
offering or something like that. Yeah.
when I did a stand-up comedy in Sujo, I think that was the highest high of my life. Like being in front of a crowd, trying to make them laugh. And I ate shit many, many times, but that feeling of performing in front of a crowd is one of the great highs in life. It's truly, truly amazing. So I think there's some way to use that, but those moves, it's not, I guess it's not time for making moves yet. It's just little things right now.
Subtle
Hopefully,
adjustments to what we got going on, and we're gonna make them. We're gonna do them well.
gonna make it big. Make it
That's right.
big with the Divine
Breaking free
Brothers.
of mediocrity, man.
Oh man. Please, you know what? That'll be my prayer every day. Just break me out of this mediocrity. Please,
Please,
God.
God,
Please.
please.
Please. I can't. All right, man. That's about the hour. Shall we end it there?
Sounds good.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a thank you for listening to the Divine Brothers. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.